Hello everyone. In this video lecture, we will study a topic from compensation management. So the topics are strategic compensation system, economic theories, economic wage theories. So now let's start with the video lecture. First, we will study the strategic compensation system. So once the employees have done their job and been appraised, they expect to be paid. So developing a pay plan is an important in the small firm as well as for the large firm. So paying the wage rates that are too high may be unnecessarily expensive, and paying less may guarantee the high turnover. So internally inequitable wage rates will reduce the moral and cause the endless budgeting bargaining by the employees demanding raise. Thus, the strategic compensation management deals with both, that is end and means. So for this, there are the six steps which are which are used for the designing of the strategic compensation system. So the first step under this, the salary and wage survey. So it is difficult to set pay rates if one don't know what others paying. So the salary survey of what the others are paying will play a big role in pricing jobs. So virtually the every employer conduct at least an informal telephone, newspaper or internet salary survey. Now the second step under this is job analysis. So job analysis is systematic approach to defining the job role, description, requirement, responsibility, evaluations, etc. So it helps in finding out required level of education, skills, knowledge, training, etc. for the job position. It also depicts the job worth, that is measurable effectiveness of job and contribution of job to the organization. Thus it effectively contributes to setting up the compensation package for job positions. Now the third step is group similar job into the pay grade. So once the committee has used a job evaluation to determine the relative worth of each job, it can turn to task of assigning the pay rates to each job. However, it will usually want to first group jobs into the pay grades. Now, the fourth step is developing wage structure. So, based on the foregoing steps, an equitable wage structure is prepared. So, while determining such a structure, the various points are need to be considered, like a legislation relating to laws, payments equal to or more or less than the prevailing wage rate, number and width of pay grades, jobs to be placed in each pay grade, provision for merit increases, differentials between pay and plans, dealing with the wage and salary that are not lined with the same structure. Now the fifth step is the wage administration rules. So rules are required to determine the degree to which advance will be based on length of service rather than merit, the frequency with which the pay increments will be awarded, the rules that will govern the promotion from one pay grade to the another, and the way control over wage or a salary cost can be maintained. So once the rules are framed, this should be communicated to the employees. Now, the last or sixth step is employee appraisal. In order to reward merit and performance, it is necessary to evaluate the performance of individual employees. Some differentials in pay are maintained on the basis of employees' performance. So, this is necessary to provide incentives for hard work and superior performance so that it is evaluated against the predetermined standard of performance. So, this all are the six steps of strategic compensation system. Now, the next we will study the conceptual and theoretical understanding of economic theory of wages. So, labor is an important factor and a peculiar factor in the production. So, wage determination that forms a very early time economists have formulated theories explaining the determination of wages. So, there are the many theories of wages, but most of them are either wrong or insufficient to explain the rate of wages. So, the compensation theories attempt to explain the magnitude and composition of reward packages and its impact upon the behavior of employees. To be meaningful and practically useful, A theory must address specific and important question. So, though two distinct branch of a compensation theories are, first one is your economic theory and other one is the motivational theory. So, but according to the syllabus, we will stick to the economic theory which are mentioned in your syllabus. So here we will study the types of economics theory. Under this, the first theory is the subsistence theory of wages. So this theory was formulated by French economist Frédéric Oret. Later this theory was elaborated by David Ricardo Leslie, who has called this theory the theory of iron law of wages. So this theory is based on two assumptions. So the first one is that law of diminishing return applies to industry, and the second one that there is a rapid increase in population. The theory states that the wage of a labor always remained at the subsistence level. This theory meant that the minimum subsistence are required for the support of laborer, that of his family, in order to expense a continuous supply of labor. So according to the theory, the labor should be paid just enough to live and to continue his clan. Now the second theory is wage fund theory. So this theory was introduced by the John Stuart Mill in 1891. This theory assumes that there is a fixed wage or a lump sum wage, which is distributed equally among all the laborers. Means he said that just to distribute a fixed amount of fund to the each labor. So the formula given by the J.S. Mill are: the wage level per worker is equal to the wage fund, that is a lump sum in the short run, divided by number of workers. So this much amount must be distributed to the laborer, without any consideration and factors. So thus if the fund is large, the wages should be high, and if it is small, the wages should be reduced to a subsistence level. Thus the demand for the labor and the wage could be paid are determined by the size of the fund. So therefore, in order to increase the average wage, firstly the wage fund should be enlarged, and secondly the number of workers asking for employment should be reduced. Now the third theory is marginal productivity theory of wages. The general theory of distribution has been expanded to wage, and this has been come to be known as marginal theory of wage. So second theory is expanded so that the marginal productivity theory of wage can be made. So this theory has been studied, assumes certain conditions to enumerate the concept of marginal productivity. So this theory was developed by the Philip Henry Wickstead of England and the John Bate Clark of USA. So according to this theory, wages are based upon entrepreneurs' estimate of value that will probably be produced by the last or marginal workers. So in other words, it assumes that the wages depends upon the demand and supply of labor. So, as it is based on economics, this remains the best theory to explain the long run wage level of economic system, as well as understanding of short run wage determination within the firm. Now, fourth theory of wage is the investment theory of wage. So this theory was developed by the Gilman for the replacement of marginal productivity theory. So whereas the marginal productivity theory is focuses on output of labor, but the investment theory concentrate on labor inputs, and also the same side of coins, means it also consider all other factors related to the labor and the input to the labor. So this theory proposes that the productivity of an individual employee is a function of his personal attributes, with which his labor is combined. So workers attitude includes value, personality, physical abilities, etc. of employees. So in the sense, however, these attributes are reflected in education, training and experience. highly motivated, emotionally mature, and energetic individuals are essentially investment in productivity. The larger the investment possessed by the worker, the wider the geographic scope of labor market in which he has the potential to participate. So he is highly mobile, and wages are related to mobility potential. So in this way, our economic theory of wages has been completed. Thank you very much for listening it very patiently.